National Signing Day is come and gone, but it continues for Tusculum University. Hello again, everyone. Brian Staten with Pioneer coach Jerry Odom as the Pioneers go through Signing Day 2019. For the list, this year's recruiting list, 5 defensive linemen, 5 offensive linemen, 4 defensive backs, 3 wide receivers, a quarterback, a linebacker, and a kicker punter. I know that there were some needs for the Pioneers this year. Did you address some of those needs on day number 1?
I think day number 1, we've addressed some of them. We're still working on a few. I think people forget in Division II especially, this is the first day of sign day. You can sign all the way through August. So we'll keep working on some, but we felt like O-line continue to try to build depth in the O-line, and then a couple maybe guys that come in and play right away. And then, I think secondary was big only because we have so many older guys now. We'll have 4 seniors back there, 5 seniors back there that have played a lot of football for us that'll be gone after this year. So we had to kind of start thinking ahead and trying to bring some other guys in. We had 2 or 3 last year. We'll add 2 or 3 more, this year, and probably keep looking as we keep going after, see if there's somebody who fell through the cracks after signing day.
So 20 guys from that first day that we're going to highlight here today, 8 of them from the state of Tennessee, 6 from Florida, 5 from Georgia, and 1 from North Carolina. And this guy's been beating it hard, and the assistant coaches.
Yeah.
I think when you get through that, you sit there and you look back at your class and say, man, that was great. That was awesome. But you look good. That's just, that's the thing that, I haven't seen you in a long time through this basketball season. And do you guys feel as if that the excitement level was there as you were going through this?
Well, I think so, yeah. I mean, we're really excited about the 20 guys that we have. And like I said, we're still looking. I think the biggest thing with this is, everybody wants to know, how's your signing class and this other. I don't think you ever really know that until 2 or 3 years down the road. You get everybody gets excited on this day, and you should be. This is, especially for the kids. They're very excited, and it's their new home for 4 to 5 years. And hopefully we win some championships, make some memories for them, and they get a degree and all those good things. But I think it's one of those things where we have to, scientifically a little bit go about it. Okay, what do we need here? What do we need there? How do we fit that into our budget, and things like that. It's a little bit salary cap-ish, when you're working toward those things. But very happy with the guys we got, very excited about these guys.
Yeah, there's no question about the signing day. When you see some of the guys that are out there, it's a veteran team that'll be coming to the Pioneers this particular fall.
For the first time.
For the first time.
that I've been here anyway.
And a lot of the guys that are there were some of those walk-ons or some of the guys they really weren't sure. So you never know what you've got until they kind of develop when they get here. Let's start with the list. We're going to go down it alphabetically and just reel off some names, and Coach is going to talk about them. And the first is, welcome to Pioneer Nation, Tyler Ajero.
Yeah, he's a great little wide receiver out of Tifton, Georgia, which is right above Valdosta. Outstanding route runner. Not a huge guy, 5'9", 170 pound type guy, but physical when he needs to be. Good blocker for a little guy. Runs really, really good routes. As you see, 47 receptions, over 1,000 yards last year, 14 touchdowns. I think, what I kind of liked about his first clip he put on his highlight was him blocking, making a play for somebody else and then finishing. That's pretty good for a guy that had 47 receptions. But then this is against Lowndes County here. It's really good football. Beats the guy on a post, takes it away, makes a great catch, and then runs away from him. We just feel like Tyler's that guy that can play inside or outside. We're probably going to look at him inside first, but he runs good enough routes. You see really a nice route right here, catches it, splits the linebackers, runs away from the safety, and ends up going in for the score. So you see the speed, you see great route running from this kid, and he's just a really good competitor. So we're really, really happy to have Tyler on board. We think that he's got a chance to get in the mix, relatively quickly with his, with his ability and what he's done, in a really good program.
We've had a lot of guys undersized in the slot over the years in the history of Pioneer football that have really excelled nicely here at Tusculum. Next guy is Dexter Benjamin. Welcome to Pioneer Nation.
Yeah, Dexter Benjamin. Yeah, Dexter Benjamin is a kid out of Centennial, Georgia. He's kind of a 5'11", 240, 250 guy, runs really good. He plays some D end, some D tackle. He's what we look for. I look for those guys that have a high motor, can get after the quarterback. We stunt and move so much up front that they got to be able to run. If they can't run and they can't make plays in the backfield, then I don't really want them. And I think he's a guy that could play inside or outside for us. Very smart young man, physical. good speed off the point of attack, but he'll probably end up being a 3 technique depending on how he grows. We may start him as a DN and then see how it works from there, but we feel like he's got a great upside.
It's a huge defensive line to begin with, and good talent there.
Yeah.
You play a lot of guys. You're extremely deep in the D line.
Yeah.
Offensive lineman Xavier Beckingham.
Yeah, Xavier's a Tennessee native. He was at Independence Community College. He's going to be coming in here, in the summer, or in the fall. Big guy, 6'5", 295, 300 pounds. Could play guard or tackle. Physical guy. Obviously, Independence is an outstanding junior college, so we're really happy to have him. We think he could do either one. Was in high school, when you watch him, played more D-line probably than he played offensive line, then made that transition, but very athletic guy, big dude, really moves his feet good, and he's played against, some really good competition in that Kansas Junior College League. So we're happy to have Xavier aboard.
Beckingham, 6'5", offensive lineman out of Athens, Tennessee, by way of Independence Community College. Our next guy, welcome to Pioneer Nation, Tycorian Brown.
Yeah, Tycorian Brown is an outstanding athlete. He was a 2-star out of Florida, a guy that had a lot of stuff early, can play corner or safety for 6'1", 175 pounds. Really physical as far as in the safety area, but he's another guy that you see him line up playing corner. This is in an all-star game. He was in the middle of the field, came all the way over, made a pick. Nice play on that. Had, I think, 5 to 6 picks. In the year, was all West Palm County.
Yep.
Down there. You see him playing corner right here. Does this a lot. You see him playing safety and corner. Gets the pick. Kid that we feel like's got a really big upside, can play safety or corner, but we're really, really happy to have him. I think he's a guy that, could play rover for us, could play boundary corner for us, could do a lot of different things. His pedal's real good, really good transitions, and we think he's going to be a really good player.
Tycorian Brown, 6'1", 170, out of West Palm Beach, Florida, from Seminole Ridge High School. Next on the list, welcome to Pioneer Nation, Kenny Bewdley.
Kenny Bewdley from Fulton. Kenny's a little corner out of Fulton over there in Knoxville. Great program. Yep. Really physical guy, runs well. Feel like he'll come in, right off the bat and have a chance to, get in the mix. And when you come from a program like Fulton, you've played really good football. Love the way he's showing press coverage right here. Plays through the hands very nicely right there to get the ball out. We do so much man-to-man and so much quarters, and then we mix in the cover 2 and all that. He being able to play press coverage for a corner at our place is almost vital. You have to do it. And then you see him right here, a second time, playing through the hands on a bigger receiver. So he shows, even though he's not a huge guy, he can play through these guys. He's physical, and we're happy to have Kenny aboard.
Nice to see somebody covering downfield for a long period of time after a scramble.
Amen.
Kenny Bewdley, 6'1", Bewdley, the 5'8" defensive back out of Knoxville, Tennessee, right, from Fulton High School. Also out of Fulton High School, welcome to Pioneer Nation, Jaron Cole.
Yeah, Jaron's a guy that's going to probably play D-tackle for us. Played both ways for Fulton. Played some D-line and some offensive guard. Again, an outstanding young man. Smart, good grades, a kid that comes off the ball. He's your, road grader type guy when he plays guard, but he's physical when he plays D-line. As you can see, guy can finish. And again, he's played in some, really big games around here. And I think Fulton had probably one of the better teams in the area over the last couple of years, truth of the matter. And but he wants to play. He really wants to give D tackle a go. He played some D tackle. I don't know if we'll get to it in these. Necessarily some of these clips, but he looked pretty good at D-tackle too, and gives us another big body inside. Either way, to have from Fulton, and we're happy to have Jaron aboard.
Jaron Cole, 6'1", 280, defensive lineman, offensive lineman out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Fulton High School, and yes, Coach is right. They have an extremely proud program down there.
Very good program.
In Knoxville. Our next guy on the list, Christian Coulter. Welcome to Pioneer Nation.
Yeah, Christian Coulter's a big kid out of Thompson, Georgia, 6'5", 330. Can play guard or tackle. outstanding young man, very good grades. His coaches just raved about the type of person he is. The thing I like about him is to watch him reset the line of scrimmage right there on a double team and keep running his feet. He's a massive young man. I think Kevion Broadwater was around and kind of hosted him while he was here, and he made Kevion look little, and that's hard to do. Kevion's a big, strong guy, but this kid's got good feet, very athletic. We think the world of this young man. I think he can come in and have a chance to get in the mix. I tell kids all the time, we never promise playing time because a lot of that depends on them. But just so big at the second level and just mauls poor linebackers. So we're really happy to have Christian. I think he's going to be an excellent player for us.
Christian Coulter, 6'5", 330 out of Thompson, Georgia, from Thompson High School. Next recruit hails from Brevard, North Carolina. I wanted to get this in because Craig Pritchett was one of the most outstanding middle linebackers, tacklers, players, teammate that a Pioneer program could have. And Kane Decharis will come from Craig Pritchett's Brevard High School.
Well, this kid is a really, really, really good football player. They went to the 4th round. Congratulations, Coach Pritchett. They went to the 4th round, had a heck of a year over there at Brevard, and this young man was a big reason why. Outstanding student. We're going to play him at defensive end, but he does a little bit of everything for them. He played some H-back, some tight end, defensive end, D-tackle. But you can see with him, he's 6'1", about 230, 235, can run, catch. You see how physical he is. Big lower body, very, very strong guy. You'll see right here. Really does a nice job with a little push-pull move, and then the finish is what you got to love, and the power off the finish. Got great hands out of the backfield. I'm sure, Ferg probably would try to fight me for him because, the way he loves tight ends. But right now, I think we're going to play him at defensive end. But he could even be a guy that could grow to play inside or outside. He's got that ability. You see that they did that with him at Brevard. But I think we're getting a heck of a football player, and to me, a heck of a young man who, only an hour and a half away. You see the athleticism, jumping over blocks and making plays. We're really excited about having Kane. And then obviously having Coach Pritchett, having one of his guys, and I know he's very excited about getting one of his guys over here to Tusculum.
Absolutely. He's been talking about that the last couple of years, and you see him at some of the homecoming events say, hey, I got some guys.
He did. He had some guys.
And we'll see. We'll come and see him. So welcome to Pioneer Nation, Kane Decharis. Jake Edmonds, our next recruit. Welcome to Pioneer Nation.
Yeah, James is a big kid out of Cookeville, I believe, Cookeville High School. Big, strong guard, center type guy. Could play either one for us. We felt like we had to find, just keep adding big bodies to the deal. And he's physical. And that's the one thing I like about him. He comes off the ball, a little bit of a masher, road grader type guy, which for what we do with the inside-outside zone power and counter, he fits kind of who we want to be up front. He's just got to keep getting better and stronger when he gets here. And we're certainly happy that he's here and decided to join us.
Jake Edmonds, 6'4", 320 out of Cookeville, Tennessee, from Cookeville High School. Welcome to Tusculum. Also, welcome to Pioneer Nation. Next on the list is Colton Edwards.
Yeah, Colton Edwards, another offensive lineman out of Ray County, Evansville, Tennessee. Like this kid, man. He comes from a, kind of an option type offense, but boy, he comes off the rock. Now you see him, he gets on linebackers and just mashes them. And the other thing I liked about him, talking to him, he's a really good wrestler. I think he qualified for state last year at wrestling. I think it's a big part of it. If you can wrestle, that means you got pretty good hips, you're fluid in your hips, and if you're good at it, that means you understand how to work, how to be tenacious. Probably, a guy who loves the weight room and all that kind of stuff. So really was impressed with him on his visit and very happy to have him as a part of what we're doing. I think he'll get in the mix at guard or center. Either one, he can play either one. And you love to have a guy that can snap and can play guard, and I think that's what we get with him.
The offensive lineman, that's the fourth one that we have seen, obviously in need for the Pioneers. Colton Edwards, 6'1", 275 out of Evansville, Tennessee, from Ray County High School just down the road near Chattanooga. Our next, we'd like to welcome to Pioneer Nation from up here in Northeast Tennessee. That's quarterback Carter Everett.
Yeah, Carter Everett from Elizabethton. Really good football player. Big, strong kid, 6'5", 225. Got a good arm. Was fortunate enough, to watch my son playing. I got to watch him play, in person. once, and that was, I thought he did an outstanding job. Just drops balls in there. He'll come in and compete, I think, right away. He'll have that opportunity to compete, and he's played in a really good system there at Elizabethton, and I think that, you see he can throw the long ball with accuracy. He's got a good release. He's got a pretty quick release, if we go to some RPO stuff and things like that. But having a local guy that's that good a player, and we got to, sign him, I'm very excited about that.
Elizabethton, the brothers that kind of had a good tradition that's been going on down there. And so
you do a great job.
Coach Sean is outstanding there at Elizabethton, and again, an offensive-minded guy.
Yep.
And his brother kind of helps out, tight end from the Cowboys.
Yeah, that guy.
Witten, if it comes to mind. So we welcome to Pioneer Nation Carter Everett, and we're looking forward to seeing you as well. Next on the list is Carlos Hill. Welcome to Pioneer Nation.
Carlos Hill from Miramar, Florida. We got a couple from the bottom down there this year. Carlos is an outstanding wide receiver. Can play outside or inside. Was in the Dade Broward All-Star game. Had a couple big catches there. You're going to see with him just great athleticism. He's 5'10", but he can jump. He can run. He runs outstanding routes. He's a guy that we think that can come in between him and Tyler. We feel like we got two really good, really, really good players. Steals. You see him burst right there and just run away from people. Very smooth with his routes. Like I said, I have a lot of respect for this kid. He's tough. There's a great little corner route, one-handed catch right here. And you see this a lot on his highlight tape. I bet we saw 4 or 5 one-handed catches. The thing that impressed me is his speed and separation once he catches the ball. When he catches a slant, and then all of a sudden he splits 2 safeties and runs away from them. And I was very, very impressed with that. I think this clip will kind of show a little bit of that right here. Going for just beating the guy deep on a deep ball. He had 16 touchdown catches this year. So he's a guy I think that brings some big play ability to what we're trying to do to go along with the 3 or 4 really good freshmen we brought in last year. We feel like with the guys that are already here in this one, adding Carlos and Tyler, now our receiving corps is getting kind of dangerous.
And we talked about the development of the wide receiving corps from a year ago. Looking like where the vogue thing is to make those one-handed catches, nowadays. Got to have those guys that can do it.
You got to have them that can do it. I mean, you want them to use 2 if you can, but if they got them, if somebody's got a hand and they can make 1, that's always a good thing.
Carlos Hill, welcome to Pioneer Nation out of Miramar, Florida, the 5'10", 170 wide receiver. Offensive lineman coming to Tusculum. We welcome you to Pioneer Nation, Rick Jenandtony.
Rickinson Jenandtony, that's my guy. I know Rickinson's a great player, underrated guy. We think the world of this kid. He plays offensive tackle. He's only played 1 year of offense. He was a D lineman, 6'4", 290, very, very athletic young man. Really does a great job in his pass pro. You can see him with his feet. Watch how athletic he is right here. Finishes. He's a finisher, man. This guy gets you on the move, he's going to bury you. And that's what I love about him. Just a great kid. Good kick set. Got a little technique work to do, but you just see the athleticism, how nimble he is on his feet. And we think he's another guy that can come in and compete pretty quickly. The guy he's blocking right here, I believe, went to Florida State, and he's giving him everything he wants. I watched that whole game. He competed really well with him. I was very impressed. And I hope he's near as good as the last guy I got out of this high school, which was the last guy I recruited out of this high school was Chris Johnson. So I told him, I said, you got some big shoes to fill there, my man. And, you just see the effort and hustle. I told him, I said, why'd you put this? Oh, coach, you have to show I'm hustling to the ball all the time, and that's just the kind of kid he is. Bright-eyed kid, really good feet. Very athletic, and we think that he's got a really big upside.
Rick Jenandtony, don't worry, buddy. We talk highly of our offensive linemen during the broadcast, and we do that with you if you continue to just play and work and hustle just like that.
Amen.
Welcome to Pioneer Nation, Rick. Jonathan Lowe, welcome to Pioneer Nation.
Yeah, Jonathan Lowe is an outstanding corner out of Tucker, Georgia. He's a guy that played that, man, let me tell you something. They play nothing but man-to-man at Tucker. So this guy I really, really like because he plays so much man. And you can see him playing man-to-man, and he's a bigger guy, too. You get guys in, sometimes they'll say, hey, I'm 5'11", or I'm this, that, and the other. This kid's a legit 5'11". He's 175 pounds. He can run. He's physical. and he can play man-to-man, and that's the kind of guys we're always looking for, those type of guys. And we just know the type of program that he comes from at Tucker is outstanding, and we just feel very, very good about getting him aboard.
Jonathan Lowe, defensive back out of Atlanta. Again, Tucker High School, if you go down I-20 outside of Atlanta, was that near Douglas?
Yeah,
past Douglasville, down the road there. My brother-in-law, who happens to be a principal down there in the high school and card game, I met the football coach this year, and he said, I guarantee you that you'll get him because you guys have been down there, and he loves Tusculum.
Yeah.
So I was glad to see Jonathan sign.
Yeah, I love him.
Welcome to Pioneer Nation. Joslin Mehra, welcome to Pioneer Nation, defensive end for the Pioneers.
Joslin Mehra was a heck of a player down there in Fort Myers this year. He worked for one of my old coaches, John Mooring, was down there, and John called me about him, and he's a beast. I mean, he'll play bandit for us. They run the same system. He's 6'2", 230. He also ran for 1,000 yards as a running back. But he's super athletic, and we feel like with him and Kane, we got two ballers at defensive end. As you see him coming off the edge right here in the All-Star game, down in South Florida, this guy can really rush the passer. He's physical. He's athletic. You're going to see him, make plays all over the place. This team went to the playoffs. I think they won 10, 11 games for the first time in several years, and really Joslin was a big part of it and what he does. So we're really, really excited to have him. He understands the defense because he played in the scheme. A lot of the calls were the same. So I think he's a guy that could get in the mix really, really quick and give us another edge rusher to go along with Nelson Luis and Kane and Gonzo and all these guys that we're trying to get better, each game. And I like I said, I think he's going to be a really, really good player for us. I'm excited as I can be to get Joslin aboard.
Joslin Mehra, defensive end, 6'2", out of Fort Myers, Florida. Welcome to Pioneer Nation. On the list is the final offensive lineman listed, and I know that you'll switch some guys around, but welcome Colin Dorton.
Yeah, Colin's another big guy, man. Physical dude at the point of attack, comes off the ball well, really like the way that he plays. Another guy that could do multiple things for us, but when you watch him, he really comes off the rock. And that's the thing. We're looking for guys that can reset the line of scrimmage, with what we do up front. And, Coach Luther did a great job this year of going out and finding some guys. And I'm not saying we're done. We may still recruit several more offensive linemen, just because I think if you're building a program, you have to build it from inside out, and your lines have to be, good. And that's one of the places that I think we have to get, consistently better. We were much better last year than we were the year before. If we can make that same jump again this year, then we got a chance to be really, really good. So that's one of the reasons that we're taking guys like this.
Colin Dorton, the 6'3" offensive lineman out of Strawberry Plains from Carter High School, just down the road, just outside of Knoxville. A kicker, place kicker, always a need for a program. You're always looking for that. We feel like we've got some pretty good special teams guys, but it's great to have Alex Patrezullo come to Pioneer Nation.
Yeah, Alex is we do have good kickers here, but I couldn't pass him up. He's a guy that can do all three things. He can punt, he can kick, and kick off. So, with him, this is like when you're watching right here is a 47-yarder in the state championship game. He was 21 and 24 over the last 2 years. He averaged 43 yards a punt. So he's a guy that can do multiple things for you. And, he's a bigger kid, probably 6'1", 200 pounds, 195 pounds, very athletic. But, like I said, was really, really consistent for Coco over the last couple years. And he's a guy, like I said, he'll get in the mix and have to compete just like everybody else. But he just gives us another guy, because I think when you're not good there, then you're going to lose football games. It's happened to us a little bit over the last couple of years, and I'm doing my best to try to bring in as many options as we can. Then, hey, best man wins, and that's what we'll do. And we got two great ones here, but I think we can keep adding to the mix, and competition makes everybody better.
Yeah, definitely for the Pioneers this past year, special teams was so key and vital to the success. So welcome aboard, Alex Patrezullo.
Yep.
Up next, out of Ocala, Florida, Bryce Ramirez. Welcome to Pioneer Nation.
Yeah, Bryce is an interesting guy. I watched him on film and liked him all right, but then he came up we had a little tryout day, and he came up and just showed out at that tryout day, and I was so impressed with just the route running ability. Another slot receiver type guy, 5'10", 170, runs unbelievable routes. Caught 40-something, 48, 49 balls this year. In fact, I think his quarterback just signed with the University of Tennessee. He's the quarterback that Tennessee signed this year. And, I think probably not, not crazy top end, but it's very, very quick. Just gives us another, he reminds me a lot of Jake Moss, who we got a lot of out of last year. And I don't think you can have enough of those type of guys, so you look at the three we brought in, Tyler, Carlos, and now him. I just think that, it makes us better as a football team to have those guys in the fold. And this kid was so thankful that we gave him the opportunity and the chance to come up here, and for him to drive 9-10 hours up to show what he could do impressed me a lot, and just who he was and then how he handled his business when he up here. So we're very happy to have him.
It's always good to have Wes Welkers on your team.
Amen.
There's no question
Amen.
about it. They're pretty good
players. Well, the Super Bowl MVP, that's what you're looking for, and the offense that we run, you can't have too many of them.
Right. Welcome to Pioneer Nation, Bryce Ramirez out of Ocala, Florida. Up next on the list, a defensive back out of Milledgeville, Georgia. It's Trey White. Welcome to Pioneer Nation.
Yeah, I love this kid too. This is another guy that's really exciting. 10-800 guy, could run track too. If I told him that was open if he wanted to, but big, physical. He's 5'11", 183. Played safety for him. Had several TDs. This guy was committed for a long time to a MAC school. Got out of the commitment in November. And had kind of a late test score, got it, and you'll see him, great hands, and he can run. Like if he catches it, they rolled him down as an 8-man front guy there as a strong safety, and that's probably what he'll play for us. He'll be probably a rover or a free for us, but I just like how physical he is. I like his explosion. You see him on offense occasionally. They'll have 3 or 4 clips on defense and a couple on offense on jet sweeps where you can see how fast he is. You better block him on a bubble screen or he's going to the house. You don't see too many pick six on bubble screens where he just beats the guy. This is where you're going to see a little, jet sweep action right here, and you can, kind of really see, the acceleration. It didn't take much there, but we just think the world of this kid. He's got a great vibe about him, and plays really, really hard. I mean, this kid really loves football, and those are the kind of guys I want around me.
You like guys that can run too.
Yeah.
Trey, welcome to Pioneer Nation, 5'11", DB out of Milledgeville, Georgia. 20th commit on that signing day that we will discuss today is Billy Weekley.
Yeah, Billy Weekley's a guy that kind of did it all for Station Camp over in Gallatin. He did it all for him. He played outside linebacker. He played wide receiver. He did, like I said, he did just about all of it for them. And I just like right here, he comes off the edge on a blitz. Really physical kid. Made plays for him all over the place. I think he was first team all area there. We just think he's got a chance to be, he likes to hit people. I'm a fan of that. He played kind of a Sam linebacker for them, but I think that he would be a great fit in our scheme, probably either as a Sam or a Will in our scheme. But then you don't see too many outside linebackers, and all of a sudden you see them split out at wideout. And then, making a catch and mossing a guy, down there for a deep ball. That didn't happen, very often. So, again, very, very happy to have Billy aboard. Really liked him on his visit. Thought he had a lot of upside, just like his athleticism for an outside linebacker.
What I hear a lot, welcome, by the way, Billy Weekley to Pioneer Nation. And what I hear a lot about you saying, and of course, with the 20 that we've got, 8 of them from Tennessee, then Florida and Georgia, we're picking up a lot of guys within the region. But I hear through this, guys that have been in the system, guys that understand what's going on. You're getting very comfortable with a lot of the guys that you obviously have.
Well, I think so. We're getting to be an older team now. This year will be the first year we've had more than 20 seniors. I think last year we had 14 that walked or whatever, and this year we'll have well over 20. So now the signing, now we're just filling needs. You're trying to fill needs, and I felt like we filled a lot of needs. Now we're not done. There's probably 4 or 5 guys in the next couple of days that'll sign with us. Then maybe 3 or 4 more after that. And I think it's one of those situations where you never stop recruiting. Yeah. But it was a good start. Signing day for us was a really good start. Really happy with all those guys. I think we got better. I think we got better today, and we got good quality kids. That's the other thing I think is important for our program, is to get good people that love the game of football, because if they're not those things, they probably don't last with me very long.
Right.
Because I love the game of football, and I think that's one of the things that we're trying to get, get the type of kid I want, is a kid that's going to come here, work hard in the weight room, care about each other more than you care about yourself. And we're getting better. That's getting better each year, and I think that's just growth in the program. So I'm really, really excited about this class, and really excited about this next upcoming year and what we've got going.
You can always follow online through TusculumPioneers.com, or just follow Coach O through Twitter, social media that way, for any other signees that will happen throughout the spring and obviously through the summer as we approach the start of the Pioneer football season, which 2019, a very challenging, start
Very
for you.
challenging.
Let's just talk a little bit about that, because we open up with a couple of Gulf South teams. So
Yeah.
that's good to see. With Delta State, West Alabama,
Right.
those teams that'll be on the schedule for the next 2 years.
Yep.
We'll flip-flop. We'll go there. Thursday night games, great atmosphere, and a great opportunity to open up and showcase what we've got.
Yeah, I got to go down to the Delta on Thursday night to open. Really, it's kind of crazy that couldn't get a game, and Delta wanted to play, and I'm like, hey, they're a great team, but let's see where we are, right off the bat. What's that old saying? You know how you look till you get your picture took? Well, we're going to get our picture took in those first 2 games. The first part of the season for us as a whole, it'll be really important camp this year and coming out, because if you look at it, it goes Delta State, then West Al, then we play Limestone, but then we got Wingate or LR and Wingate right there. So those first 5 games are going to be really tough. And not to say the last ones won't, but it does make for, there's no gimmies.
Right.
So we got to do a great job this offseason, have to have a great spring. We'll open spring March 18th. With the spring game, I think tentatively on April 13th is what we're trying to do with our golf tournament. If you want to be a part of that, on April 12th is what we're trying to get done there. That's still in pencil. Hopefully it's going to be in pen soon. But we're excited. I really am. The guys are working super hard for Coach Poss in the weight room. I think that's been a great addition to our staff. Yep. He's killing those guys, and they're responding. That's my biggest thing, is I'm watching those guys grow. And this is the first year we've had a full-time weight coach, and that's exciting. And so there's a lot of good things going on right now. We just got to keep it going and jump that into the spring, have a great spring, jump that into summer, and then we have to have a great camp, because coming out with Delta State early, that's going to be a long drive and a tough game, but we'll have to be ready.
Pioneer Nation, get ready. Pioneer football just around the corner. And as always, you can come out and support the Pioneers through their spring game here in April. Come out and support the golf tournament. Always a good time, because when you see this guy swinging a golf club, that's always some fun time.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's
not great, people.
He's Jerry Odom. I'm Brian State, and thanks to Nick Forsberg and all the assistant coaches as well for their efforts putting together the great video. And for all of you 2019 signees, welcome to Pioneer Nation. Until, football season, Brian Staten, go Pioneers.